I make jokes as a hobby. Please don't sue.
Well, aren't you a fucking liar? You said that 2018 was going to be the year of crappy cinematics. You've made one.
I also made a top 20 list.
A top 20 list isn't crappy What's your excuse?
Well, my camera broke.
Oh.
Yeah, and cameras are expensive.
Yeah. And seeing as we don't make money out of YouTube, we have to pay for it ourselves.
Yeah, okay. Just so that 20, 21, 25 people can actually keep on watching this show. Wait, but if your camera broke, then how will we come back to crappy cinematics? Well, I bought a new one. You're being recorded on it right now. Yeah. How are we even talking? I think something with dimensions or something.
What? Look, I don't know how we're doing this. I'm scared.
Me too! Yo everyone, Hyrit here, and welcome back to Crappy Cinematics. And as my unbelievably hilarious backstory explained... Yeah, that. My camera was broke, so I was gone. Again. But now I'm back! Again. So you probably wonder what I have returned with. Well, seeing as monster movies are kind of a theme of these reviews, I wanted to maintain that. And before you say anything, yes, Hercules in New York is a monster movie. Just look at that chin. You could break boulders with that. Lol. So let's talk about a different type of monster this time. And no, I'm not talking about something cliché like Godzilla or Jason Voorhees. No, I'm talking about a monster that we actually have to deal with on an everyday life basis. Control. Yeah, I bet you didn't expect that, did you? Control is my scariest monster so far. I mean it. It's in everyone's life. When you walk around judging people, when you see a series or a movie or simply see the news, you are never free of its grasp. And before anyone thinks, no, I'm not free of its control either. Freedom, true freedom, is in my opinion to be able to say and feel and think however you want, no matter what others think of it. Now this is a bit of a touchy story in today's society because the cancer that is social media made us crave that sweet, sweet thumbs up so much that we lie and manipulate to each other every single day. Yeah, think about it. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, they are all there to be a peek into the life of someone else. However, that someone else has complete and utter control of what you get to see of their life. So what you get to see is a lie. You do not see what the person is like or what their life is like. No, you see what they want you to see and they want you to react to. It's an ugly lie that for some reason has the entire world in its grasp. Now how am I going to tie this in with today's movie? Simple. Today's movie is made by a Christian who wants to control the people of his faith. Enter cartoonist Jack Chick, a pretty hardcore Christian with an extreme view on homosexuality, Catholicism, and evolution. Now we know this type of character in series and cartoons as an over-exaggerated one and therefore funny. But what if he was real? Now wouldn't that be scary as balls? And unfortunately, he was real and influenced a lot of real people with his cartoons, which depicted his views. And one of those cartoons got turned into a short film, simply titled Dark Dungeons. Now this movie was like a parody or a spoof or hell, even a satire of its original source material. But what makes it so funny is that it wasn't intended as one. This piece of anus was actually meant to be legit. I am not kidding, this was meant to be taken seriously. Because of course there are people that really believe Cthulhu is real and will come for your soul. Now, depending on your viewpoint, this movie can represent what is unbelievably funny about others, as well as what is unbelievably scary about them. So, the movie starts out with, okay, what the hell? Really? Really? A castle on top of a hill in a fog with red sky? Jesus fucking Christ, this has to be a spoof.
Evil will reign, and we will bring it forth in the flesh. How are each of you working to fructify the Dark One? Report!
Astrology and tarot card sales are pulling more and more young people into the Dark One's domain.
What?
World politics are steadily progressing toward our one world government, naturally with our agents in place.
What?
I am excited to announce that this year more people have decided to be homosexuals than ever before in history.
What? Whoa, 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 whoa! Hold the facts, hold the phone, hold the tuba. This has to be a parody. This cannot be real, right? This movie was made in 2014. No way that this could fly now. Nope, this is real. Someone actually intended this to be real. Now, I can understand that you find this funny and that you laugh at this, but to me, this is scary as hell. It's like watching Idiocracy, or hell, even Avatar. In the beginning, you just think of them as fun movies, but when you look around, and especially with the exposure that the internet gave to people's way of thinking, you begin to fear that either the movie has been taken too seriously, or that it could actually become a reality. What I tried to say is this opening scene is stupid, and everybody who takes this seriously is stupid too. Bite me. The last lady talks about role-playing games to be the bane of all hell's existence, and then they just randomly start chanting into the title screen. What I like about this opening scene is that it immediately depicts what kind of ride you are getting yourself into. It is a B-movie, sort of, yes, but there's a certain fakeness surrounding it. But before you go like, oh, duh, it's a B-movie, I just mean like, the fakeness is a little bit more passionate. Here, just look at the introduction of our two main leads and tell me that I'm wrong.
I'm so happy we got into the same school, Marcy.
Me too. I'm so glad I've got a special gal like you in my life, Debbie. I can't think of anyone else I would rather explore this bold new chapter of my life with than my childhood friend.
See what I mean? The entire movie plays out like this. Set pieces instead of characters, and exposition spewing nonsense for dialogue. It is like reading a comic book with really good artwork, but with such uninteresting characters that you cannot even give them epic voices when reading. I know this is a weird way to analyze this, but this is how I see it. And if you want to play a funny game, just look at our main leads and think that they are in a porn rather than in a serious story every time they start talking. That will make it funny.
I want to join a sorority.
I want to join a computer club.
Or maybe I could... Hey, who are those people?
Those are goths and punks.
Those are the RPGers.
What? No, they're not. D&D and RPG players, when putting it in stereotypes, are nerdy geeks with a passion for some role-playing fantasy game. I know, I am one of them. These kids, I mean seriously, that little guy looks like he is in his late 20s, are not what we would typically think of as an RPGer. But we need a scapegoat, and goths and punks are visually looking like a bad guy, so that's easy targeting, right? So, what's an RPG?
You don't need to know.
Ah, sorry, Jesus!
We've been trying to get them thrown off campus for years, but they're just too popular.
You are the bad guy of this story, aren't you? What the fuck? Throw them off campus and destroy their chance to have an educated future because they like our fucking RPG board game? How is this supposed to inspire whoever takes this junk seriously? Where is the border for people who want to spread their religion? This guy clearly says it's okay to point fingers at people who are different from you and pass on total judgment. This guy, with that one sentence, immediately lost all credibility. And he fails at it too, because the next scene is Marcy and Debbie, who are our main leads, just contemplating on going to the RPG house while standing in front of it for like 10 seconds, and then go in. What was the point of him?
Besides, there are obviously a lot of people here that need to be witnessed to.
That's what you said about senior prom, but do you remember what happened? You just wasted prom by dancing and hanging out with your boyfriend.
Well, I learned my lesson there. After what he tried to do, no more boyfriends for me.
Yeah, I'm still thinking that you were cast for a porno here, and it is hilarious.
You're right. If we don't go to this party, you and I would be spending all Saturday alone together in our dorm room. And how much fun could we have doing that?
Not much, I guess.
Doesn't she look disappointed here? Well, so is the audience. So they enter a rave party and go totally nuts! Oh wait, this is the RPG room? Sure, you don't need concentration to play a D&D board game, you just need a rave! So this 30-something-year-old introduces the main event, which is D&D led by this goth witch, and they wrote the girls into it.
That and this witch is totally acting with only her eyes.
Look at them! They are the possessed! After being celebrated for being good at the game... Huzzah! We got back to oh god no.
You see? We have taught them that mercy is for the weak, and have acclimated them to using dark magical forces.
Their use of RPG magic is nothing but coded instructions for budding necromancers.
You know what? This is the kingdom of exposition. They are just talking about stuff that won't happen. So the girls get really into D&D playing, and every person that isn't an RPGer in this universe is a child of God. Just listen to this teacher's speech.
It's your grades. You know, when you first started here, I thought you were going to be one of the brightest students here, but ever since you involved yourself in those wicked RPGs, your grades have been going down steadily, month by month.
So she got a hobby and doesn't get straight A's. Let her live a little, jeez.
RPGs are a far-out game. The spells, poison, battles, maiming, killing.
Yeah, but it's all imagination.
Is it?
Yes, it is! What do you mean? What are you saying? Are there spells going to be cast in the schoolyard? Are there, like, people and heroes fighting evil in real life? 'Cause that is... fucking awesome! You're a bad teacher!
If you don't get an A on your next paper, I'm afraid you're going to receive a failing grade.
I'll do anything to get that A, Professor. Anything.
I still believe this was supposed to be a porno. Actually, joking about casting real spells isn't that far from what happens, as Witch DM teaches her real magic, which makes her grades better. Also, magic is real. According to the creator of this movie, which he intended to be true to the source, magic is real. Fuck yeah, make me evil! I can cast spells and get whatever I want if I play RPGs enough? That is fucking amazing! How is this a bad thing? It cannot possibly be bad! Holy shit, what the fuck? So yeah, after getting powers and being introduced to...
live action role-playing!
Yeah, that. Marcy's character in the game is killed, and so she hangs herself out of grief and guilt. Where do I begin? First of all, if Marcy was so much into a game that she kills herself over it, she didn't have to go for an RPG. Just play Monopoly. That has destroyed plenty of friendships and lives. Second, wasn't killing yourself also against the rules of God? Aren't the girls represented in this movie as holy Jehovah's Witnesses? Yet it was this easy for her to kill herself? Over a game? What a weak-ass bitch! Third, even when taking this as a parody, this is a weird turn to take. Why not have her have rehab symptoms or something? Or have Marcy rediscover faith and have her save Debbie? There are like a billion other ways this story could unfold. And I wouldn't make such a big deal out of it if not for fourth, remember that this was meant to be taken seriously.
Seriously, this is what makes this such a scary movie. Not because it looks like a parody, not because a lot of people see this as something funny, but because you just know that there are people in the world who look at this movie and actually think it's legit. That's what makes this such a scary movie. Yes, it's unbelievably tacky and satirical from a certain standpoint, but the fact that it was made to be taken seriously makes it so scary to me, because this movie actually does have an audience. And the thought of some parents teaching their kids through this movie makes me scared and sad.
But I can hear you all think, man, you're taking this way too seriously, just laugh at it, ha ha ha, your best friend is dead!
Also, no tie-in, but right before the scene where Marcy's character is killed in the D&D game, this is said.
It appears to be some kind of Arabic. Wait, Marcy, didn't you learn Arabic? You needed it to convert the Muslims, who didn't realize they were actually worshipping the moon god.
Nice. Just insult a whole group of people because of your superiority complex. Nicely going, movie. But back to the plot. After Marcy hangs herself...
No!
Yeah, I guess it's kind of funny. Anyway, Debbie goes to the Chamber of Steam to, lose some steam? I don't know, I'll let her explain.
Why battle what you have helped make?
Because the game has taught me to slaughter and murder and exterminate. And so that is what I will do. I will go into the tunnels of steam, and there I will unleash all my dark powers and all the thaumaturgy I possess. And I will slay my foe and brandish their carcass as my spoils of war.
Ah, okay, that explained everything. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. What the fuck are you talking about? So Debbie goes to the basement, where she almost gets tentacle hentai to death. But she asks for God to help her, so boom! God teleports her to the next scene. God, get me out of this movie!
No!
God damn it!
Later. I'm busy.
Fuck you!
So, one extremely emotional scene takes place where the jock tells Debbie that Jesus is the answer and RPGs are bad.
It's a spiritual warfare that you can't win without the Lord Jesus. Using RPGs to fight evil will never work because RPGs are evil, Debbie.
We know! Fuck we know! Because subtlety is this movie's worst problem! So the jock takes Debbie to church, and the priest tells us once again that Jesus is the answer. But he also tells us what to throw away.
Gather up all of your occult paraphernalia. The rock music.
Hell no, I'm not throwing away my rock!
Occult books, including those by C.S. Lewis and J.R.R. Tolkien.
Oh, you stay the fuck away from my Lord of the Rings!
But don't just throw them away. Burn them. We will do that here tonight.
What the hell, mister? Isn't this a form of violence installing as well? What the fuck is wrong with them? Anyway, Debbie repents before God, and believe it or not, this is enough for the Kingdom of Expedition to explode. Oh yeah, and Cthulhu almost rised because of this, but Debbie repenting was enough to reverse play the video of him rising up.
Just a minute ago, evil made you cast spells and be amazing. But now it is being thwarted by a prayer. Just one. Evil is kind of weak, isn't it?
I mean, seriously?
All that build-up for evil that will spawn and one person repenting is enough for it to be destroyed? What a cop-out!
And so our movie ends with a mass burning of everyday stuff that really looks like they are burning a witch or something. Really, look at that. Looks evil, right there. This movie sucks! This movie is terrible! And I hope you will believe me now when I say this movie is fucking scary. Of course I'm over-exaggerating when I say that this movie is taken seriously, but when even one person takes something like this seriously, I'm really not comfortable with its existence. The message and power of control is so obvious that I cannot believe anyone would exist to be so dumb as to follow this message and live by it. But they exist. Oh yes, these people exist. Bye guys, thank you so much for watching. See that like button down there? Kick it in the nuts. I don't know how long this video was, I cannot see the time bar, but thank you so much for sticking by me for so long, and this was a fun video for me to make. I wanted to talk about this subject for a long time, and especially this movie. Yeah. Stay in school, don't do drugs, and don't take anything you see in series, social media, or movies as seriously as these people did. I think I'll go to a rave RPG party. That sounds like fun. I can cast spells, that would be great. Hyrit out!